Your dog has a full bowl of food in front of her. She walks over to it, takes a bite, and then stops, and looks at you. Then takes another bite, and looks at you again. Maybe you smiled, maybe you looked away. Maybe you said something, and she wagged her tail and went back to eating. You have seen this 100 times. You probably never thought much about it. It is just one of those things dogs do. A little quirk, a habit, something to smile at and move on from. But it is not a quirk, and once you understand what is actually happening in that moment, you will never look away from her again. The obvious explanation most people land on is that she wants more food. She is checking to see if you are going to add something to the bowl. She is hoping for a treat. She is keeping an eye out in case something better is coming. That explanation feels reasonable. It fits. Except it doesn't hold up when you look at it closely, because if she were watching the bowl for more food, she would watch the bowl. She doesn't. She watches you, your face specifically, your eyes. And she does it consistently, not just when the bowl is almost empty, not just when there is something special in the food. She does it in the middle of a regular meal on a regular Tuesday with the same food she has eaten every day for 3 years. So something else is going on, and to understand what it is, you have to go back much further than the relationship between dogs and people. You have to go back to where dogs came from. Wolves, the ancestors of every dog alive today, are pack hunters, and pack hunters have a very specific relationship with food. A kill belongs to the group. Who eats, how much, and in what order is not random. It is governed by a social structure that every member of the pack understands. Eating together is not just about survival, it is a social act. It carries meaning. It communicates something about who trusts who, about who is safe, about where everyone stands in relation to each other. Food and relationships have been tangled together in the canine nervous system for thousands of years. And your dog, sitting in your kitchen with her metal bowl on a rubber mat, is still running that same ancient software. When she looks at you while she eats, she is not asking for more food. She is doing something she cannot help doing. She is checking in with her pack. Here is what that actually looks like in the brain. Research on dogs and social behavior has consistently shown that domestic dogs treat their human owners as social partners in a way that even wolves raised by humans do not. Dogs follow human gaze. They read human facial expressions. They use human attention as a cue for how to interpret the world around them. A 2015 study found that dogs adjust their behavior based on whether their owner is watching them. They are not just aware that you are in the room. They are actively monitoring your attention and using it as information. And that monitoring does not switch off at mealtime. If anything, it intensifies, because food is when it matters most. When your dog glances at you mid-bite, her brain is asking a question that has no words but has a very clear meaning. Is everything okay? Are we safe? Is this moment okay for me to be vulnerable in? Eating requires putting your head down. It requires taking your eyes off the environment. For an animal whose survival once depended on staying alert to threats, that is not a small thing. The fact that your dog can eat at all, calmly, in the middle of a room, is already a sign of how much she trusts you. The glances are her way of confirming that trust in real time. Every time she looks up and sees your relaxed face, your calm posture, your normal expression, she gets the answer she was looking for. We are fine. Keep eating. You are not just a person standing in the kitchen. You are her read on the entire situation. March 27th, 2026, 1:11. Miles Creek. This connects to something researchers call social referencing, and it shows up in dogs in a way that is remarkably similar to how it shows up in human children. A toddler learning to navigate a new environment constantly looks back at a parent's face for information. If the parent looks calm, the child relaxes and explores. If the parent looks alarmed, the child freezes or retreats. The parent's emotional state becomes a map for how to feel about the world. Studies from the University of Milan found that 83% of dogs do the same thing when they encounter something unfamiliar. They look to their owner's face first, not to another dog's face, not toward the object, to their owner, and what the owner's expression communicates shapes how the dog responds. Your dog does this constantly, but during meals she is doing a version of it that is even more specific. She is not reading a new situation. She is confirming a known one. She already knows you. She already trusts you. The glances during eating are not uncertainty. They are maintenance. She is keeping that connection active while she does something that requires her to be briefly less aware of everything else. And there is one more layer to this that most people never consider. When your dog looks at you and you look back, something happens in both of you at the same time. A landmark study published in the journal Science in 2015 measured oxytocin levels in dogs and their owners before and after periods of mutual gaze. The results were striking. Both the dog and the owner showed significant increases in oxytocin after holding eye contact, and the more the dog initiated that gaze, the stronger the response in both of them. Oxytocin is the hormone most closely associated with bonding, with trust, with the feeling of connection between individuals who matter to each other. The same chemical that bonds a mother to a newborn is being released in both you and your dog every time she looks up from her bowl and catches your eye. She is not just checking in. She is actively building the bond between you with every single glance. And you are doing it back, whether you realize it or not, every time you look at her. The researchers tested this same setup with wolves that had been raised by humans from birth, animals that had lived around people their entire lives. The mutual gaze loop did not appear. The oxytocin surge did not happen. This response exists only between dogs and people. It developed over thousands of years of co-evolution. It is one of the things that makes the relationship between dogs and humans genuinely unique among all the relationships between humans and other animals. Your dog is not doing something that any animal who spends time with people would do. She is doing something that only dogs do, something that exists specifically for you. Now think about what that means in the context of her food bowl. She is in the middle of one of the most basic biological acts there is. She is eating. Her body needs this. Every instinct she has is oriented toward it. And in the middle of that, she stops and looks for you. Not because she needs something from you in that moment, because the connection itself is what she is maintaining. Because for your dog, eating alone with no awareness of where you are and whether you are okay would feel incomplete in a way she has no words for. You have probably noticed that your dog eats differently depending on where you are. If you are in the room, she tends to be calm, measured, relaxed about it. If you leave the room mid-meal, some dogs speed up or stop eating entirely until you come back. That is not coincidence. That is the same mechanism. Your presence is part of what makes the meal feel right to her. She is not just eating food, she is eating food with you. And to her nervous system, those two things are not the same. March 27th, 2026, 1:11. Miles Creek. There is something worth sitting with in all of this. We live very busy lives. We put the bowl down and walk away. We feed our dogs on a schedule and move on with the morning. We treat the meal as a task to check off rather than a moment that means something. But for your dog, every single meal is a social event. Every bowl is an opportunity to check in with the person her entire sense of safety is built around. Every glance up from the food is her way of saying, I know you are there. I am glad you are there. This is better because you are here. She cannot say that. She does not have the words. But she found a way to show you anyway, in the most ordinary moment of the most ordinary day. The next time she look up at you mid-bite, look back. Hold it for just a second. Because that exchange, as small and quiet as it is one of the oldest forms of trust between your species and hers. And she has been offering it to you every single day. If you want to keep understanding what your dog is telling you in the moments most people walk right past, subscribe. Every week, we take one small behavior that seems like nothing and show you exactly what it means, and it is always more than you expect.